Hello, guys, gals, and non binary pals. Welcome back to another video by the Continuing Life System. I'm Lena, and today we're going to be talking about types of submissives. Now, before we begin, it's really important to realize that just like dominance, a submissive can be more than just one type of submissive. They can have multiple headspaces, and I'll kind of get more in depth in that later on in the video. And with that, let's get started. Submissive, just a normal plain Jane term. It is the term that we use for someone who submits to a dominant. And it can be a 24/7 dynamic. However, it does not have to be. A little. A submissive who acts or plays as though they were younger than what they are. Now, I didn't really put it here, but you can also have someone who is a little or what is called a middle. So you can think of it as someone who acts like they are 10 or younger, and then a middle is someone who acts as though they're kind of a teenager. So a little more rebellious, maybe. Some littles who do pretend to be little, while others may actually regress during this time. I already have it planned. I will be making a video to kind of differentiate between age regression and like being a little or doing age play, but like I said, that is later on. Just know that it's coming. A little is someone who submits to a dominant who is typically a daddy or a mommy. They don't necessarily have to use those terms. It all depends on what the dynamic wants to be called. There are many variations. You have DDLG, DDLB, MDLG, MDLB, which literally just stands for Daddy Dom Little Girl, Daddy Dom Little Boy, Mommy Dom Little Girl, Mommy Dom Little Boy. And again, this type of dynamic can be 24/7 or it may not be. Pet, a submissive who acts or pretends to be a pet, and they typically will submit to a dominant who is a pet trainer. Again, there are a million different types of variations. You do have your traditional pets like pups and kittens. However, I watched another BDSM educator YouTube creator. Her name is Evie Lupine. Please go and actually watch her videos because they really helped me to understand a little bit more, not only about myself, but also the community. I definitely would recommend her channel. But she mentioned in one of her videos that she either met or like knew somebody or heard of someone who was a dragon in their headspace, but also one who was an insect. I don't really remember which insect in particular, but I just wanted to use these as an example so that you can kind of see that there is great diversity and variations in pet space. Now, with that, understand that someone can be a puppy, but also have a kitten space as well. Again, it's just so diverse in pretty much all of BDSM. And again, pretty much with all of these, it can be a 24/7 dynamic, or it may not be. It all kind of depends on what the dynamic needs and or wants. A domestic. This is a submissive who tends to stay in the home and kind of takes care of everything in the home, like cooking meals, going grocery shopping, getting clothes, uh, keeping everything clean, like doing the dishes, doing laundry, folding, putting everything up. You can almost think of them as like a stay-at-home, mom, stay-at-home dad, just stay-at-home parent. But yes, they are a submissive, and typically they will have like certain, I'm going to call them rituals or things that they need to do. They can be a submissive to almost any kind of dominant. Again, it kind of goes along with the a submissive can be multiple types, just like a dominant. So they might be a pet, but they really enjoy cleaning stuff. Or they could be a slave, and that is another part of their rituals and things. Rope bottom, rope bunny. Honestly, I don't really know why the label of rope bunny exists. I personally don't like being called a rope bunny. I I am definitely a rope bottom. However, because I have seen it quite a bit, and I know that some people respond positively towards being called a rope bunny, I did put the term here. Um, they're literally just a submissive who enjoys being tied up, typically with rope, but they can be tied up with other such implements. Typically, they submit to a dominant who is a rigger. And again, this is not for 24/7. Like, you can't be tied up all day, every day. Just doesn't work. So it's typically just for a particular scene. So at some point, this will end and they'll go on and do something else. Please do not do this all day, every day. Please. You can have a lot of issues like nerve damage and have issues with blood flow. So, not for 24/7. Masochists, someone who derives sexual gratification from their own pain or humiliation. I kind of brought this up in the types of dominance video. It is most commonly seen in submissives. However, a dominant can also enjoy this. A sadist, someone who derives pleasure, especially sexual gratification, from inflicting pain or humiliation on someone else. Again, typically seen in dominance, however, some submissives enjoy it as well. Now, important note, submissives can be more than one type. I've said it once, I'll probably say this a million times throughout the BDSM series because it's not okay to put people in certain boxes. Like, for instance, for me, not only am I a pet, I'm also a little. I also have a slave space, and I'm also a domestic. And if you were to take one or more of those away, then I won't be able to get the things that I need. So just remember, they can be more than one type. Traditionally, a sub only has one dominant. However, that kind of dynamic is all dependent on the relationship and those involved. And what I mean by this is the fact that in my dynamic, I actually have two dominants. I am polyamorous. Both of my doms know each other. They really enjoy plotting against me, which I both love and hate. It's kind of an occupational hazard. It is not traditional. However, it's what works best for us. So please, please, please don't judge a dynamic. Just because it isn't necessarily for you doesn't mean that it isn't right for someone else. We've gotten a lot of people talking about our dynamic on our other social media networks, and it's very frustrating because it's what works best for us, and we all really do love and care about each other. And like I said, it works for us, so just please don't judge. And I kind of mentioned this again in the types of dominance video that I hope I'll be able to post either somewhere in the video or in the description down below. But not everyone is a sadist or a masochist. Some can be one or the other. Some may like both, and others literally don't enjoy either one. And that's perfectly fine. Now, I will be putting fake submissives here. It is just important to know that they do exist. Again, fake submissives and dominants both hurt our community as they give people the wrong idea about what true BDSM is about. They will typically pretend to know about BDSM, however, in reality, they will know little to nothing about it. They'll have very little research, maybe even no research on BDSM, types of play, certain safety that's involved. They typically won't have any regard for other submissives or dominants. Typically, what I have seen most often is that fake submissives are only in it for the sex and will have no interest in that power exchange that's involved in BDSM. And they will typically try to basically top from the bottom of, oh no, I don't like this, you need to do that, when, the dom is trying to take care of their submissive. And so it doesn't really work. Now, I will add in here because I did forget and I apologize. I am in school, so I don't really have a lot of time to go back and fix it. I forgot to put in slave. And so, in short, a slave is someone who will submit to a dominant who is traditionally a master or a mistress. They give up full and total control and power over to their dominant. And more often than not, this particular dynamic is a 24/7 dynamic. It doesn't have to be, but more traditionally it is. And that is all for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you want to hear and see more from us, please subscribe and hit that little bell so you get notified when we post again. Again, any and all support helps us and channels like us to help end the stigma around BDSM. So please, please like, subscribe, get our info out there. And remember, stay safe and stay kinky. Until next time.